Okay, who is Retargetly? Retargetly is one of the companies that make your family believe that your cell phone is listening to you. How do we do that? Okay, this is the talk. The talk topic is about that. So we are absolute leaders in Latin America. We are the lead company regarding data for advertising. But hold on, who am I, right? Okay, I'm the VP of Technology of Retargetly. I'm basically responsible for the entire technology area. I'm basically a nerd. I'm 36 years old, and I have been working in technology since I'm 19. I started as a PHP developer. In that moment, it wasn't called that way, but now we call them full stack developers. But I didn't like it. It was kind of easy. I needed to be involved in more efficient coding, and I needed to manage more real-time stuff. So I went to backend. I coded in Java, I coded in C Sharp, I coded in C, I coded in C Sharp, in C++, sorry. Eventually, I went to management. I started being a project manager for a consultant company that made software for telcos. Then I joined Elementum, which is a Silicon Valley company that works with supply chain data, and I became the leader of the data platform. And later I joined a Brazilian company that develops games, and I was involved in the advertiser part of the games. A few months ago, I joined Retargetly, and I'm basically here for make the best technology company in Latin America. So for that, we have structured our area in 4 specializations. Engineering, which is the part that develops the software, the front end and the back end. Data, it has two sub-specializations. Data science, that discovers and does the magic with the data we have and discovers patterns and segments. Data engineering, which is the software engineering part that develops the pipelines that we have for acquiring and exporting the data we have. Then we have infrastructure, which is DevOps, that ensures and escalates automatically our data, our infrastructure. We have also security there, and we are creating a new organization, which is engineering productivity, which will enforce our QA automation and provide tools for the developers. Tools like templates, libraries, components, etc. So let's go back a little bit. What do we do? So we are a data company. We gather data by different means. We analyze that data, and we develop tools, software tools, of course, that our customers use to target better their advertising campaigns. So, for example, we have a tool that allows the customers to discover how many users they will acquire with the data they want to target. So let's talk about a bit of how do we do that. So let me go back to the slide. The first things we do is we gather data. We gather data by putting pixels, JavaScripts, and SDKs in our partners and customers' applications and websites. We process that data, we give some message to it, and we convert that data into devices and users. We store those devices and users in our core platform services. Using all this information we have, which is a lot, and I will talk about it later, we make analysis. We discover patterns, we discover segments, for example, and simplifying a lot. We analyze, and I will use myself as an example. If I'm a man of 35 to 40 years old that is looking for a car, and then I look for a bigger car, maybe, actually, and then it looks for a cradle, I will eventually look for a child bed. So we know, by using the data models, and the data science models, we know that eventually I will look for a bigger house maybe. And that's how we trick your family to believe that your cell phone scares you. We predict your behavior. It's not that anybody's actually listen, maybe. So this is like and all these insights are shown in our applications to our customers, which are basically advertising agencies or brands. Maybe in the more internal part of our product, we have a part that allows to export the audiences we generate and the patterns we discover to basically ad networks. What is an ad network? Is a software tool in internet that allows you to configure campaigns. The obvious example is Google. When you create a campaign in Google, you have to pick which is your target. And for picking your target, we provide you the audience that you pay for it. And our biggest internal use case is a dashboard that allows us to show KPIs. Not only KPIs regarding revenue and performance of the company, also performance of our own tool. So which are our challenges? Everything that I'm telling you is in really big scale. The events that we were talking at the beginning of the previous slide, we're talking about 15 to 20,000 events per second, depending on if we are in the peak hour. All that has to be processed, almost 50% of those have to be processed in almost real time. We have gathered across these years 3 billion devices in our data lake. And we also discovered, by using data science, that each person has an average of 3 devices per person. So we have 1 billion people registered. Finally, our total volume of data that we have stored is 160 terabytes of data. So let's go into the deeps. So which are the technologies we use? Let me go back a little. So our engineering area is divided into 2 big groups. Platform, which is the core part, the part that was in the middle in that architecture diagram, and applications. The platform part uses Kafka, basically for processing the events asynchronously, Amazon DynamoDB and Aerospike for resolving those real-time use cases that I was telling you before, Spark for the data pipelines, so the data pipelines don't take days or hours, but instead take minutes. For Elasticsearch, we have a particular application. We provide a tool that allows the customers, agencies mainly, to discover potential audiences by doing some interesting things with keywords, and Elasticsearch is the perfect match for that. And all our backend is coded in Golang. On the application part, this is sorted from front-end to backend. We have Vue and React as frameworks. The first webs are done in React. The newest one are in Vue. We use Redux and React Query for maintaining the session and simplifying the access to the backend. And in the cases of applications that have their own backend, we use Node.js for the services and MongoMySQL as data storages. Data or data? Nobody knows. On the infra part, most of our services are mounted in AWS, and we use Terraform for code as infra as a code. Our CI/CD pipelines are being migrated to the AWS code pipeline, but we have some old ones in Jenkins and GitHub Actions. The monitoring is done in Grafana and Prometheus, and all our services run on top of Kubernetes, or Kubernetes, I don't know. On the data side, we have SageMaker, TensorFlow, and Kinesis for the data engineering and machine learning teams. Glue, we use it for ATLs, and we have some custom pipelines that we export, and we use Glue for that. Our data scientists sometimes have to solve things manually, so they use Jupyter. Redshift is our main storage for our data lake. Druid is used for for gathering events really fast. And Power BI is the tool we use for solving the use case scenario of KPIs. And Gorevice, okay, Gorevice is a Pokemon. Okay, if you didn't play Pokemon or big data technology, you should play it. Which are our core values, our cultural values? We are a company 100% remote, so we really value that you are autonomous and you are responsible. We really value that you work hard. If we give you if I agree with you some deliver date, some due date, I will trust you and I won't bother you until you come to me on that day that you promise. We always state the truth. We give direct feedbacks. We don't have any kind of politics or internal politics. In software, the mountain value is really important. We really encourage people to have a step-by-step approach to big problems. You don't climb the Everest by just jumping into the top. You go step by step. So let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, how you will develop this thing sprint by sprint. And finally, we are a team player. We are one team, especially in technology. If one specialty success, all of them will success. So for finishing, come on, join us. In that website, you can check which are our open positions. And I hope you enjoy this mini talk. Bye.